everybody, and welcome to the Reader Problems tag. I'm doing a tag! You know, back in the day, tags were the big thing on BookTube. I sort of feel like they're coming back, but they're really fun. It's just fun to answer questions, so I just want to do a tag. This tag was created by Tiffany over at About to Read. I don't think she's uploaded in like a year, but she made this back in 2014, so you can still go and watch her old video if you want to. Let's get into it. I've got 11 questions, existential questions to answer. I can feel this little button keeps flopping back and forth. Alright, question number 1, let's get comfy. You have 20,000 books on your to-be-read pile. How in the world do you decide what to read next? Well, here we are in my to-be-read pile. Oh, you know what I haven't done in a very long time? Counted. I almost said read. That's not true. I haven't counted how many of my books I've read and haven't read, so I don't know the percentage, and I don't really want to know the percentage. I have a lot of unread books, and I don't know how I pick the next one. Like, genuinely, it mainly has to do with mood. Like, I don't do to-be-read piles at the beginning of the month because I never stick to them, because I just have to be in the mood for my next book. Like, I just wake up one day and I'm like, you know, I've really been in the mood to read this, and I pick it up. That's it. So, I actually don't have a system. Question number 2. You're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? So I don't believe in reading books to the end just because you started it. If you have read a book and you are still kind of, you know what, maybe this could pull through, you give it like 50 pages and you're still hating it, just stop. Set yourself free. There are so many books that I want to read. I don't want to spend my time reading books that I don't care about. There are so many books that I do care about. Like, why restrict myself to books that I'm not having fun with? That being said, though, I don't remember the last time I DNF'd a book, because what tends to happen is I'll be reading a book and I won't really be feeling it, and I'll be like, okay, I'm still reading this book, but I'm more excited about this other book. And so I start reading that other book, and then I finish that other book, and then I start another book, and another book, and another book, and this other book has just been forgotten. So it's very rarely an active decision. I just sort of let things fade. If I'm not feeling them, I'm not feeling them. Next question. The end of the year is coming. Relatable. It is coming. And you're so close, but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try and catch up? And how? No, I don't. I have seen a lot of people have the technique of, like, at the end of the year, they start reading a lot of short books. Like, they start reading a lot of graphic novels and a lot of poetry collections. And I'm sort of like, that totally counts. Like, that's valid. All books count. You can do whatever you want. But that seems so stressful to me. I'm just sort of like, you know what? I didn't do it. This is why I never do Goodreads challenges, because I find them so stressful. They never work out for me. Like, I remember at the beginning of this year, I was like, I'm gonna read 100 books this year. And by literally January 23rd, I was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, it's just not gonna work out for me this year. I'm gonna read the amount of books that I read, and that's great. Like, I don't like it. I don't like that pressure. Next question. The covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? I actually hate this, and my technique is to just never read a series. As you may see behind me, there are very little series. I just don't like those series. They're not fun for me to read. I do not like waiting. I do not like the covers not matching. Do you want to know, like, a perfect example of this? Divergent by Veronica Roth. I bought Divergent when it was in paperback. I went to Chapters, everyone was talking about it sounded really fun, picked it up, read it, loved it, thought it was super fun. Then Insurgent, the second book, was only in hardcover, and I was like, well, I don't want to have one paperback, one hardcover, I'll wait for it to come out in paperback. And for whatever reason, it never came out in paperback, so I just never read it. I don't like it when they don't match. I have Harry Potter all in the Canadian-British paperbacks, and then the final book is in hardcover. That's like the one exception to this rule in my life, and it's because I finished Half-Blood Prince, and I asked my dad, because I read it, you know, when I was a kid, and I was like, do you think that you could please buy me the last book? And he was like, of course! And he went and he bought it for me, and he bought me the American edition. I don't even know how that happened. Do they sell the American editions at Chapters? Did he happen to go to America? I'm not sure. But I somehow ended up with that one. But I actually think it's totally fine, just because you should have seen, like, I remember when he gave it to me and I was like, huh? However, it totally, for me, works because I'm like, it's the final book, it's so epic, it should be bigger than all of the other ones. Question number 5. Everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? So, I have a funny story for this one. Earlier this year, I got one of the coolest opportunities of my entire life, and I got to go and talk with Michelle Obama about her new book, Becoming. It was a crazy time, and I'm so grateful that I got to do that. However, in the video that they posted on the YouTube Originals channel, oh my god, somebody asks Michelle Obama, like, I think it's Jesse, he asks Michelle Obama what her favorite book is, or if there's a book that she has a special memory over. I forget the exact question. And she says, oh my god, one of the books that is so near and dear to my heart, and like I have special memories because my family read it together, is Life of Pi by Jan Martel. So I really actually don't like hating books on my channel because I don't think it's productive, and I really dislike that content. Like, videos that are just hate reviews make me sad. I never click on them. I don't agree. But I've publicly disliked Life of Pi by Jan Martel since I started my channel in 2011. So that ship has sailed for that particular book. Everyone knows that I hate that book. I just don't like it. And so when Michelle Obama was in my face, like, I love that book, you do what you got to do. And I nodded politely. And I was like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I remember afterwards, Jesse came up to me and he was like, The next question is, you're reading a book and you are about to start crying in public. How do you deal? This has happened to me before. I just cry. It hasn't happened in a very long time. Like, the last time it happened, because I don't actually cry at books that often. My camera stopped recording. Different angle. Okay, there's 2 times this happened. The first time was when I was walking down the road reading, or listening to, what's the book called? Room by Emma Donoghue, and I was walking my dog, and it was just very emotional, and I was very attached to the characters, so I started to cry. And I'm sure people must have noticed, right? Because I was walking my dog down the sidewalk. And then the second one was when I finished Charlotte's Web, and I had all these emotions, and I was so mad at the little girl who owned Wilbur, and I just was so sad about many things, and I went downstairs and I started ranting to my dad, and then I just started crying. And what can you do? You just gotta let it out. That's good. Books don't often make me cry. I actually don't remember the last time a book made me cry, but if it does, I feel like that's really cool. Like, it's beautiful that you've been impacted that way, and you should just let it out. And if anyone asks, be like, I'm reading a truly powerful story. A sequel of a book you love just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find a synopsis on Goodreads, cry in frustration? Well, we all know my solution is, don't read series! Yes, this has not happened to me in a very, very long time, because I do not read series, because of, well, this is part of the problem. By the time the sequel comes out, you're just like, whatevs. Number 8, you do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people no when they ask? I actually don't remember anyone ever asking me to borrow a book, And I think it's because I do recommend books to people very often. I'll be like, have you read this book? And they'll be like, no, but I'll definitely look into it. So people don't ask me to borrow. No one has ever said to me, no, do you think I could borrow it? Because I think it's because, A, most of my book friends live all over the world, so that wouldn't make sense. B, I just moved, so I don't know anyone here. C, when I don't hang out with people that often in my real life, so it's sort of like I will see someone a couple times a year. It's not going to be like, do you think you could bring that the next time we hang out in 4 months? And D, I think a lot of people, like, they don't actually want to read the book that you recommend them, right? Like, I know that's a little sad, maybe, but it's true. When you recommend a book to people, they might want to go home and look it up and be like, is this actually something I want? Like, I want to be nice and polite when Ariel's recommending me a book, but let me just go and look it up. And then they often will just be like, oh, I picked up that book at the library, or oh, I bought that book, or whatever. So I don't ever have that problem. Next question. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? I just think that if you've picked up and put down 5 books, one of 2 things is happening. No. You haven't found the right book yet. That's okay. It will sometimes happen where you'll pick up a bunch of books and none of them are the one that you're in the mood for. Just release yourself of that pressure. Let go. Keep trying or just let it go. What I often find will help is a switch of genre. If you've read a lot of novels lately, pick up a graphic novel or a collection of essays or a poetry book or something short or quick that kind of slices through everything you're reading and can kind of, what is that? Reset the palate. Or number 2, you're not in the mood for reading, and that is okay. Maybe you're in the mood to watch some movies, or you're in the mood to draw, or you're in the mood to binge a TV show, or play a video game. Like, I love reading, obviously. It is like a wonderful pastime. But sometimes you're not in the mood for reading. Sometimes weeks can go by and your mind just doesn't want to read. That's okay. You can do other things, I promise. There are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? So this is super interesting because this tag, like I said, came out in 2014. And in 2014, I bought so many books. Like, all of my birthday or like any Christmas, any occasion in which I could get a present, graduation, I would ask for books. I always had like a list. I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited about so many books. These are all the books I want. Any income that I ever got went straight to books. And now I've really calmed down on it. I think that that's for a few reasons. One, I read a lot less now, which I hope isn't forever. I just think I'm in a time of crazy transition in my life. But I read less now, so I don't buy as many books because my reading and my buying kind of tend to match a little bit, at least enthusiasm-wise. I feel like there's this whole stereotype on BookTube that's like, people are buying books and they don't even plan on reading them. And it's like, who's doing that? That's crazy. Either people are buying books because they're like collectors and they like getting certain editions and that makes them happy, so great. That's wonderful. Or they're buying them because they want to read them. I want to read all of the books that I buy, but sometimes I just don't read them right away. I used to like stock lists of what books are coming out this month and stuff like that, and now it's just a bit more organic and I just buy books when I'm excited about them. So I do buy less books, but whatever. Final question. After you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you get to them? Which is super real. But like I said, I don't care. I don't care when I get to them. I buy them because I want to read them, and often what will happen is I'll buy a book, but I'll still be reading another book, so I want to finish that book before I get to that one, and then when I finish that one, I'm in a different mood, so I don't actually feel like reading that one right away anymore. And it'll take me a few months to get to it, or whatever, and I'm okay with that. I like my book collection. I love buying books because I know it supports this industry that I care so much about. And it's okay if it takes me a while, or forever. I genuinely, in my head, think I'm gonna read all of these one day. If that is true, it's another case entirely. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I had such a fun time answering it. This is why tags are so fun. I need to do more tags. Please, in the comments, let me know if you have any good stories that answer these questions. Have you ever nodded along, pretending to have enjoyed a book someone loved? I'll literally never forget that moment.